Welcome to the session 11 of the novel The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood. In this session, I'm going to analyze chapter 16 and chapter 17. These two chapters are very important in the context of the novel. Chapter 16 Analysis. Marian was going to Duncan's apartment, the beer young man with the clothes after the office. She got a call from Duncan after Peter's call to come to his home. He finished pressing his clothes and wanted more clothes. So he invited Marian to bring her clothes as early as possible. Marian remembered the way to his home perfectly, even though she had there only once. She did not know the street number and street name, but she was taking right turns and directions to go to his home. She was going as if she was following somebody. The only difference from her previous visit was she walked during the day last time, but today she was walking under street light. The few times Marian had thought about Duncan's apartment during idle hours in the office when she had nothing to do but a blank sheet of paper. She had never given any specific place to his area in the city. She does not remember the outside building well, but she knew very well the inside of the house. She pushed the buzzer of number 6, and Duncan opened the door part way. He stared suspiciously at her, and he had a cigarette in his mouth. She gives him the bundle of clothes and goes inside. There were not many dresses, but Marian says she had only this much at that time. He went to his bedroom, but Marian does not know whether to go inside, as it would be considered breach of his privacy. She asks whether she can watch him. He says yes, and she goes in. Marian did not want to go to her room as she had nothing to do and Peter had put off the dinner date. There is not much change in the bedroom arrangements since her last visit. The iron board in the middle of the room. There are books spreading here and there, and the chessboard with pawns on the books, and there are several books on the bed which were hung over the plug to make room for Marian to sit. He started ironing the clothes. He was busy and behaved as nobody should disturb in his work. She found it awkward that somebody is ironing her clothes. While Marian coming to Duncan's home with dresses, Ainsley asked her where was she going and what would she do if Peter calls for dinner. Marian said he would not call, but if he does, she should tell him Marian is out. Ainsley did not ask further questions. She was busy in the success of her own campaign. She asked just out of curiosity. Then Marian asked Ainsley, how did she send Len out of the apartment fooling the lady down below? Ainsley says when she was thinking about how to send Len out and smoking cigarette near the window, she saw accidentally the lady down below going out and sent Len out quickly. Duncan was staring on the second blouse. He seemed to be unaware of everything around him but the wrinkled white material spread on the board before him. He was poring over it as if it was an ancient and a fragile manuscript that he could not quite translate. As Marian sat watching him, she got a desire to speak to him to break the silence. She took her purse and went to the bathroom to comb her hair. It is not that she needed a combing, but as a substitution activity. In the bathroom, there are some damp towels on the racks and men's cosmetics and shaving items kept there. The mirror on the basin is broken, and she could comb her hair by looking at the small pieces of the mirror. He says he has broken the mirror as it did not reflect him. Therefore, he broke it with a frying pan. His friends were upset because of this act of him as they liked the mirror. He says they behave as if they are his mother, always trying to protect him. Then Marian asks him, how does he shave then? For that he says he has a private mirror which is good one and reflects him. After some time, he says actually he broke the window, rather mirror, as it felt like breaking something. He thinks people believe easily, and that is the problem. Duncan folded the last towel and pulled the plug out of the socket. He says clothes are not enough really. He needed more clothes to ease his tension. The other day, he dropped his term papers in the kitchen and he has to clean and iron it, but they did not accept the iron papers. So he came back home and ironed all the things that are clean. When that was over, was not enough, he went to the laundromat with clothes to wash and then iron it. When he felt boring watching the clothes in the laundry, he went to the movie at the nearest theater. It was there that Marian saw him, and he was eating pumpkin seeds. Marian felt irritated as he only speaks about himself. After a while, Marian come to know that she has not told him her name. Then he says that he has ironed all the clothes except the one she is wearing. He says that she can wear his dressing gown so that he can iron the blouse she is wearing. Marian thinks for a while and says no, as it would look silly, but after a minute she is undoing her buttons and changes it to the dressing gown, which was larger for her. Then he speaks about the futility of actions we do, because we do not reach anywhere after the work. It is like the term paper, and he reads for many days and writes, but it does not reach anywhere. He says he has a great plan for the trees to have permanent leaves instead of shedding leaves every year. He also says it is better to have white leaves rather than green one. Black trunk, white leaves. He also speaks about the change of seasons and change of weather and how to wait expecting the change of season for snow, for sun, for rain, etc. Marian says, as she is engaged to somebody and getting married, she should not be here. He is happy to hear it. He kissed the end of her nose and says she's just another substitute for the laundromat. At that time, they hear the heavy feet and come to know that his friends are back. He stood in the middle of the room for an instant, glaring wildly at the bedroom doorway, then dashed across the room, seized the chessboard, dropped it on the bed, and sat opposite her. She says there is nothing to worry about it, but he says they are like his parents, and parents never understand about things like that. They think she is correcting him. They have to be protected from reality. He touched her fingers and they were dry and cold. Chapter 17 Analysis. Chapter 17 represents a turning point in the novel and in the life of Marian. Looking at Peter across the restaurant dinner table, Marian decides that anyone would have to agree that he is exceptionally handsome. Ainsley had once called him nicely packaged, and Maria now thinks that she finds this quality attractive. She even feels a sense of proud ownership at being with him in this public place and reaches over to his hand. As they wait for their food to arrive, Marian and Peter resume a conversation began earlier concerning the proper education of children. After a few moments, a dinner consisting of rare filet mignon wrapped in bacon is delivered to the table. As she eats, Marian's thoughts turn to a way Peter sometimes looks at her and touches her in the bed. She describes his touch as clinical and devoid of passion and likens the experience to that of a patient and a doctor's examination table. Her attention is then focused on Peter's plate. She watches him cut his meat and suddenly views the action as an act of violence. This thought triggers a series of other thoughts. She is reminded of the most beer commercials for which she now feels responsible. This leads her to think of newspaper story about a kid who shot 9 people from an upstairs window, an example of removed violence. One day after the incident at the restaurant, Marian is unable to eat pork chop, and a few weeks later, she discovers that the planet pig and planet sheep, like planet cow, are also forbidden. She finds that she cannot eat anything with a bone, tendon, and fiber. She wonders what could possibly be making these decisions, deciding that it is certainly not her mind. She also begins to fear that the refusal will spread and thinks she might be becoming a vegetarian. Thank you for watching the video.